Hi everyone, David McDonald here from Vitality Fitness Calgary. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the scale. And the big question we're going to answer today is, does the scale matter? We have a lot of clients who come to our facility that are very preoccupied with their scale weight, whether or not the scale is going up or down. And a lot of people put a lot of stock into the scale, and they use the scale as the ultimate measure of progress. So, quick answer to the question, does the scale matter? I'm going to start off by saying no. The scale is actually probably one of the least effective things to use in terms of measuring your progress, especially if you're wanting to lose body fat and tone up and get more lean. So does the scale have a time and place? Absolutely, but it also needs to be taken into context. Okay? The scale is one way to measure progress, but it needs to be in collection with many other things as well. I'm going to explain why that's important. So the number one reason why the scale isn't the best tool to utilize when you're measuring progress is it doesn't tell you a lot. All the scale does is give you a number. It doesn't tell you, have you lost 2 pounds of fat? Have you gained 2 pounds of muscle? Have you lost water weight? Maybe you had some extra carbs on the weekend and your body's storing more carbohydrates and glycogen, which is going to bump the scale weight up. Maybe if you're a female, it's that time of the month and you're retaining more water. So there's so many variables that can impact the scale weight. Maybe you just worked out and you've lost a lot of water because you've sweat a lot from your workout and your water weight is down. So there's just so many things that can throw off the scale. Eating. If you weigh yourself at the beginning of the day and then at the end of the day, your weight's probably going to fluctuate 4 to 5 pounds depending on how much food you've eaten. So the scale doesn't really tell you a lot. It tells you a number, but it doesn't give anything more than that. So let's say, for example, you're looking to lose body fat, you're looking to lose inches, you're looking to get more toned. You can use the scale as one tool, but I wouldn't put a lot of stock into that. I would suggest using measurements, looking at your clothes size, seeing how your clothes fit. Using a before and after photo is a very, very good tool for progress. If you've ever been part of a body transformation contest, before and after photos are very common, and that's because they really capture the transformation, more so than what a scale would. Another great tool to reference is other people. So you might not see the changes that you're experiencing because you see yourself every day, but other people will. So if you haven't seen a friend for a long time or a family member, they're going to be another good source of feedback on the changes you're seeing in your body because they haven't seen you for a while. So those are some good tools that you can utilize as progress. Now, the scale is also very misleading because it doesn't take into account muscle to fat ratio. Okay, so a pound of muscle and a pound of fat is going to fit much differently on your body. So there's a very common saying out there that I've heard a lot, and people will say, well, muscle weighs more than fat. That's actually not true. Muscle fits differently on your body than fat, but it doesn't weigh more than fat. 1 pound is 1 pound. It doesn't matter if you have 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat, it's still 1 pound. So 1 pound is 1 pound is 1 pound. It's really important to remember. However, where the difference lies is how it actually fits on your body. And I'm going to use an example here that's going to really drive the point home. So we're going to use a couple props here. So this is muscle, and what I have down here is body fat. And for the example, we're going to use each weigh 1 pound. This is 1 pound of muscle, this is 1 pound of fat. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. For those of you who are watching at home, which one do you think is going to fit differently on your body in terms of which is going to take up more space on your body? The muscle or the fat? Well, I think for most of you, the obvious answer is the fat's going to take up more space because the fat takes up more surface area than the muscle, but each weigh a pound. So this is why you'll see people who will gain muscle and their body fat might stay the same or drop down a bit. Their clothes are actually fitting differently and they're usually fitting looser because the weight that they are gaining is taking up less space on their body. And then additionally, if they're losing body fat, they're removing weight that's taking up more space. So that's the biggest difference. And the number one word to remember is density. So muscle is far more dense than fat. For simplicity's sake, what density is the amount of weight per surface area. So muscle per unit of surface area actually has more weight to it and takes up less space. Therefore, it's more dense than body fat that has less weight per surface area, meaning it's less dense and it takes up more space. Okay, so remember that word, density. So muscle doesn't weigh more than fat, it's just more dense. Okay, so for every unit of weight, it takes up less space and surface area compared to body fat. So very, very important distinction to remember. And again, which is why weight training is so important if you're wanting to lose weight. Not only for the fact that it's going to take up less space on your body, but it's also going to help you burn more calories at rest, because the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolism is, the more elevated it is, and the more calories you're going to burn at rest. So I hope you guys understood that distinction, and I hope you also understood why the scale doesn't matter. Again, you want to take into account several different things when assessing that progress. You want to take into account measurements, inches, possibly before and after photo, maybe using a friend or family member you haven't seen for a while as reference. And another really important thing to look at is how you feel. How you feel physically, how you feel mentally, how you feel emotionally. Those are great markers of progress. You might not be seeing a lot of changes with your body, but if your mental and emotional well-being are improving, well, you're definitely making a lot of progress. So progress is very subjective, and it's very relative to each person. So very important to remember that. I'm David McDonald from Vitality Fitness Calgary. Thank you for watching.